Hello, it's me, Wise Call Off. I was going against
So
Rich Only
the
champ.
ranking is 716. Is going to fight a rich only champion. The ranking is 626.
Now this is the starting position. So then after I played e3, and then my opponent played e5. Then the game goes on like this: Bishop d3, Pawn d5, Knight f3, attacking the bishop there. But then I had the opportunity to castle kingside, so I did, as you can see here. But then they had the option to capture the bishop and also the option to capture the knight. So they decided to capture the bishop. Then I played e4, e1. But then after they played, they take on c2. I capture them back with the queen, since they can't capture me back. Then they play knight f6. Then I play e4. Then they take on e4. Then I advance my pawn on f3. I'm doing a double attack because they only have one defender, so they cannot do much about that. So then they take on f3. So then I took with my rook, although I had the option to capture with my pawn, and that would have been safer. Then they lost track. Then they played g6. Then I put them in check after going to e3 with my rook. So then they decided to stop the check with their bishop, and so they played e6. So then I put them in check for a4. Then they stopped the check with c6. Then I advanced my knight, so I'm kind of guarding my queen. So then they played bishop c5. Now you might be thinking, why did I go to b5? I could also have gone to e4. Well, I didn't go to e4 because that would stop the pin here. So then they captured my rook, so it was now check for me. What could I do about this? Well, the strongest way to get out of check was to capture. So I captured them with my pawn. And then they did the castling, or how I like to call it, the change. Then I took with my knight onto a7. Now it's good for both of us, because if I got the knight out the way, they could easily have captured my queen there on a4. But it's also good for me, because if they capture my knight on a7, I'll just capture them back and they could do nothing about it. Now we're reaching the end of my game. They played pawn to b5 because they wanted to get rid of my queen. As you may know, the queen is the most powerful piece. So I didn't capture. Instead, I played a3. Now here's where they did a terrible mistake. When they played e7. Now, they cannot guard. They have no one guarding the queen here, because nothing can really guard the queen, because the closest things would be the pawn, just they don't go sideways. The bishop, they don't go up and down side to side. The knight doesn't move like that. The king is just a bit too far away. The knight, the closest he can go was to d7. And this rook, yeah, if it was their go, they would probably guard on e7. So since I realized no one was guarding the queen, I decided to capture the queen on e7. Now, since they had lost their queen, they thought, how am I supposed to win? I can't win. So they decided to resign.
Which means surrender.
Technically.